Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we have a quick gouache painting practice of this dark lake scenery with some hanging leaves and swans. I wanted to paint something with very high contrast today, so we're gonna use some dark colors in this painting. But before starting the actual painting process, let's first prepare our painting background and draw a little sketch. I'm using my Etchrs Lab Watercolor Sketchbook today that has cold pressed paper and a random green colored pencil to draw the initial sketch. The sketching part is not super important for this painting and I'm gonna go through this pretty quickly, but I do think that especially finding a place for the swans is gonna be very helpful because we are painting around those areas with the dark colors. So I usually like to start my sketches with a horizon line. My first line was a little bit too high, so I drew this second one, which is the one that I'm actually gonna use. And then I'm just roughly drawing these kind of oval shapes in the water, which are indicating the lighter spots that I wanna remember to leave later. I also very roughly sketched some leaves here at the top and drew this tree trunk that is going to be pretty hidden towards the end of the painting, but I still wanted it to be there. All of this is going to be covered by the first layers of our gouache paints, so the purpose of this sketch is just for you to have a plan and a rough idea for the layout of the whole picture. I do also sketch my paintings in my little brown sketchbook that I quickly showed here, and I just like to do that to test the colors a little bit before I start filming these videos. But anyway, now that our sketch is done, we are ready to move on with the paints. I'll first show you all the colors I'm gonna use in this whole picture. So we need some dark blue and green, a black, then some lighter green or yellow, one slightly warmer color, so that can be any type of peachy or orange shade, and then we need some white. As always, you don't need to own the exact colors that I'm using, but I'll still list all the paints and other tools in the video description in case you want to look them up. We'll start by pretty much covering the whole background with this very dark shade that I got by mixing my black, blue and dark green. Then I'm taking out a pretty big flat brush and we are gonna add some water to this color mixture. I sometimes get questions about how much water I use with gouache paints, and it really depends, but I would say that generally you want to be using as little water as possible. Maybe for this type of background wash you can use a little bit more, but gouache paints start to look pretty blotchy and see-through quite fast if you use too much water in your brush. Since we are actually painting water here, I don't think that some small blotchiness is actually that bad, but whenever you're trying to paint an opaque color over a previous shade, you do need the colors to be quite pigmented, and you can achieve that by using as little water in your brush as possible. Then on the other hand, you know that you're using too little water when the paint looks dry when you lay it down, so it really is something that you just need to experiment with. Different brands of paints behave a little bit differently, and sometimes even different colors within the same brand. So there really is no correct answer to how much water you need to use. It is just something you learn by painting and playing with your specific tools. But anyway, you can see that I'm leaving out the black for the areas that I wanted to be lighter in the water, but otherwise we're gonna add these dark colors pretty much everywhere on the page. And then for some areas, for example the very front of the painting, and also when I was adding color to the tree trunk, I left out the green and blue and only used the black color to get an even darker appearance. I also wanted the area around the swans to be quite dark so that we'll have a very high contrast when we add lighter color to them later. So yeah, even if at first glance all the colors look pretty much the same, you can still play with adding a little bit more blue or green in certain areas and keep some areas even darker than the rest to get some variation in the tones. This beginning stage might look a little bit messy, so don't let that discourage you. We will start to add some details on top of everything to add a bit of color, which will also kind of hide any imperfections. Anyway, we're continuing to lighten up these light areas in the water now. So I mixed this light blue shade from the blue and white paints and just started to tap it on these few spots in the water. We're gonna blend these colors a little bit by removing some of the color from the brush and kind of going over those same areas with just water in the brush. But this also doesn't need to look completely blended, since we are gonna add a lot of these white reflection dots on top of everything to make these areas look really light and sparkly. But before that, I started to very quickly add some first dark leaves in here. I'm actually gonna jump back and forth between the water and the leaves here for a bit, because after painting a few leaves, I realized that painting the water first would probably make more sense since it's in the background. To get ideas for this painting, I looked through a lot of pictures of darker lake images, and I really liked the ones with this kind of effect where there were some areas in the water that light was hitting, and it created these very pretty sparkling looking areas. I was using a very small brush for this step and trying to keep these white dots extremely small so that there wouldn't be any too big noticeable white blobs anywhere. We'll still work more on the water later, so now I jumped back to these hanging leaves and started to paint them with a slightly lighter tone of green. So I was pretty much just starting from darker tones and then lightening up the colors and starting to add more highlights as I was progressing. I tried to keep the highlighted leaves a little bit more in the middle of the painting, and then to add some contrast again, we are also gonna add these black leaves in between the branches just to add a little bit fuller appearance, I guess. I know I probably could have done a little bit better job with these leaves, to be honest. I was kind of speeding through this step because I knew it's gonna take a lot of time to paint these individual strokes. So I think some of them look a little bit messy, but I wasn't planning on spending a lot of time on this painting. I wasn't planning on adding it to my shop or anything like that. So we are gonna cut some corners here. I also tried to add to the whole light sparkling effect by adding a few of these kind of diagonal sun rays with barely any color in my brush. You really don't want to add too much light color over these dark areas because it's gonna look extremely opaque, so I pretty much cleaned everything off my brush and just used a very light mixture of water and some lighter color and tried to add these very faint light sources. Looking back at the painting now that I'm editing the video, I feel like I should have intensified this effect a little bit more by lightening the top or the middle part of the sky or forest as well, maybe between the hanging leaves. And I should have maybe added even more light around these middle leaves. So maybe that's something you can try at home if you want to give this painting a go and really intensify this light effect. Anyway, to get these very light tones in the leaves, I was mixing the lighter green and yellow we added to the palette, and then at some point I also added the peachy color just to warm up some of the colors here a little bit. I don't know why I always feel like leaning too much in one direction with all the colors makes the picture a little bit flat. So I tried to add this warmer peachy color to add a little bit of contrast to the otherwise very blue-green color palette. But after all this, I thought it was finally time to paint the swans. In this painting specifically, I thought it was the easiest to leave these areas white from the beginning, though with gouache paints you could technically go over even a darker area like this with a light color. However, that's sometimes a little bit difficult and I didn't really want to deal with layering white paint here over this very dark background, so I thought this was maybe a little bit easier way to go about such a light detail in this painting. But anyway, what we want to do first is color these swans with a color that's a shade darker than pure white, just so we have that white tone left for the highlights. We'll also add some reflection to the water from these ones so that they are not just floating in the darkness. And you can mix a little bit of darker gray shade to add some shadows under the wing and to the lower part of these birds as well. To get this slightly brownish gray tone, I mixed a little bit of the peach color with my white and black, and those are pretty much all the colors I used for the swans. I don't know why, but for me, adult swans are so much easier to paint than the swan babies. I was especially struggling with these because the colors were very dark and my swans were very small as well, so getting any type of detail or color in here was quite difficult. I also didn't want to reach for a new color because I wanted to keep the color palette of this painting pretty limited. But I think having maybe picked up a brown or a darker orange would have probably helped a little bit here. Anyway, we are gonna touch up these ones at the very end of the video, so even if they don't look perfect at this stage, it's completely okay. So now I got back to adding some more leaves to the top of the painting because I felt like my hanging leaves were looking a little bit too symmetrical at this point. So I tried to add some thicker spots and maybe some leaves that were going a little bit more sideways compared to the rest that were just hanging straight down. I also added a bit more highlights here and there, including the water, but again, I don't know if I was super happy with how these leaves turned out, to be honest. Not my best work, I'd say, but again, something I can definitely live with. I actually decided to remove the side tapes before finally finishing the swans because I feel like sometimes seeing those clean edges makes the whole painting look a little bit better. So after doing that, I just quickly fixed some of the details, for example in the swan's face. I blended the water reflections a little bit, added some more white glimmers and shadows here and there, and tried my best to also work with these baby swans that ended up in the category that look better if you don't look at this painting super closely. But after that, we are finally done with this very dark, high contrast lake painting. This didn't end up being my favorite painting of all time, as you could probably tell, but they don't all need to be. Actually, what I've found is that whenever you really want to make something special, you have to be willing to spend hours and hours on the painting or drawing process. And sometimes it's a little bit more beneficial to keep things quicker and looser just to get some practice in. So I hope I can inspire you to just take out your paints and paint something without any pressure to make it perfect, just to practice using your tools, play with color, and maybe learn a new thing or two. If you did enjoy watching this video and it was your first time around here, definitely consider subscribing for more art and journaling stuff in the future. I also have quite a list of painting tutorials on my channel, so maybe you can find something else that you're interested in. But I guess that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye!